The echo in the brownstone. I never believed in ghosts, not in the way some New Yorkers do, clinging to the city's haunted history like it's part of their lease agreement. Brooklyn's brownstones are old, sure. Creaking floors, drafty windows, echoes of lives long gone. But they're just bricks and mortar. Or so I thought. My name is Alex Harlan, and I work in finance, the kind that keeps me chained to a desk in Midtown Manhattan, staring at spreadsheets until my eyes blur. My wife, Elena, is a poet, unpublished but brilliant, her words weaving through our life like the ivy climbing our brownstone's facade. We bought the place 5 years ago, a steal in Borum Hill, with its high ceilings, original fireplaces, and a rooftop garden that overlooks the skyline like a private kingdom. It started on a crisp October morning in 2025. Elena was out of town, visiting her family in upstate New York for the weekend. I had a big conference at the Javits Center, networking panels, keynote speeches, the usual corporate grind. The house was a mess. We'd hosted a dinner party the night before, and the remnants of wine glasses and half-eaten charcuterie gourds littered every surface. I couldn't leave it like that, not with Elena's fastidious nature. So I hired Maria, a part-time maid from a local service app. She was in her early 20s, reliable, according to reviews, with a no-nonsense attitude that promised efficiency. "Make sure to get the rooftop garden, too," I told her over the phone as I handed over the spare key at the door. "The leaves are piling up from the trees." She nodded, her dark hair tied back in a ponytail, and got to work. I headed to the subway, my mind already shifting to the day's agenda. The conference was in full swing when my phone buzzed. It was a FaceTime call from Maria. I stepped into a quiet hallway, away from the buzz of suits and PowerPoints, and answered. Her face filled the screen, pale and wide-eyed, the background showing our living room with its exposed brick walls. "Sir? Mr. Harlan?" Her voice was a whisper laced with panic. "Is your wife home? I thought you said the house was empty." My stomach dropped. "No, Elena's upstate. Why? What's wrong?" She glanced over her shoulder, her breath coming in short bursts. "I heard laughing from the rooftop garden, a woman's laugh clear as day. I went up to check, but no one's there. Then it happened again, like it's echoing through the vents." I froze, the hallway's fluorescent lights suddenly too harsh. "Are you sure? Maybe it's neighbors. The buildings are close." "No, sir, it sounded like it was right here, inside. I swear it was her voice, or someone's. Please, can I leave? This place feels off." "Get out now," I said, my voice sharper than intended. "Lock up and wait outside. I'm calling the police." I hung up and dialed 911, my heart pounding as I explained the situation to the dispatcher. An intruder? In broad daylight? Our brownstone had top-notch locks, a security system we'd installed after a rash of burglaries in the neighborhood. But Maria's fear was real. I could see it in her eyes. I bolted from the conference, hailing a cab across the Hudson. Traffic was a nightmare, construction on the bridge, tourists clogging the streets, but I urged the driver on, my mind racing. What if someone had broken in? Elena's jewelry, my work laptop, the antique clocks we'd collected. But laughing? That didn't sound like a thief. By the time I arrived, an NYPD cruiser was parked out front, blue lights flashing lazily against the autumn leaves. Maria sat on the stoop, hugging her knees, her cleaning supplies abandoned by the door. Two officers emerged from the house as I approached. One burly with a mustache, the other younger, notepad in hand. "Mr. Harlan?" the older one asked. "We swept the place top to bottom. No signs of forced entry. Doors locked, windows secure. Rooftops clear, too. Just some planters and chairs." I exhaled, relief mixing with confusion. "But the laughing! Maria heard it." The younger officer shrugged. "Could be echoes from the street.
these old buildings play tricks. We've seen it before." Maria stood, still trembling. "I know what I heard. It was a woman, giggling like she was sharing a secret. I'm not going back in there." I paid her double, apologized profusely, and watched her hurry down the block. The officers left with a warning to check my carbon monoxide detectors, just in case. I laughed it off, but as I stepped inside, the house felt different, quieter, yet heavier. I chalked it up to paranoia and texted Elena, "Weird day, maid thought she heard someone, all good now." She replied with a heart emoji and a joke about city ghosts. That night, alone in the king-size bed, I heard nothing. No laughs, no creaks beyond the usual settling of the foundation. Life moved on. But then the oddities began. It started small, a week later. I came home from work to find fresh coffee stains on the kitchen counter, dark rings like someone had set down a mug and forgotten it. Elena hated messes. She was meticulous about wiping surfaces. But she was home that day, working on her poems in the study. "Did you spill coffee?" I asked, grabbing a sponge. She looked up from her notebook, brow furrowed. "No, I had tea this morning. Maybe you did last night." I hadn't. I'd been out late at a client dinner. But I let it go, scrubbing the stain away. The next day, another appeared, this time on the windowsill in the living room. Faint, but fresh, the aroma of espresso lingering. "Elena, seriously," I said that evening over takeout Thai, "if you're spilling, just clean it up." She laughed, but it was forced. "Alex, I swear it's not me. Maybe the maid left them." Maria hadn't been back. We hadn't hired her again after the incident. The stains became a pattern. Counters, tables, even the edge of the bathtub. Always coffee, always fresh. I started photographing them, half convinced I was losing it. Elena suggested a plumber, thinking it was some weird leak, but no pipes ran near those spots. Then came the poems.
Elena wrote in longhand, her unpublished verses scattered across napkins, receipts, whatever was handy when inspiration struck. She had a stack in the study, raw and intimate, exploring themes of loss, identity, the city's underbelly. One night, I found one on the coffee table rewritten, not in Elena's looping script, but in elegant cursive, almost antique. The words were hers, but refined, phrases sharpened, metaphors deepened. It was better, hauntingly so. "Elena, did you revise this?" I held up the napkin. She glanced at it, her face paling. "No, that's my draft from yesterday, but I didn't change it." We stared at each other, the room's silence broken only by the distant hum of traffic. "Maybe I did it in my sleep," she joked weakly, but we both knew that was impossible. More appeared. Her poems, subtly altered on scraps of paper left in odd places, the fridge, the bathroom mirror, the rooftop garden bench, always in that same cursive, as if an invisible editor was at work. Elena stopped writing for a while, claiming a block, but I saw the fear in her eyes. And then the giggles started. At first I thought it was the wind. Our brownstone backed onto a shared courtyard, and sounds carried strangely. But one midnight, as I lay awake scrolling through emails, I heard it, a soft, feminine laugh echoing from the vents. Light, playful, like someone amused by a private joke. It lasted seconds, then faded. I sat up, heart racing. "Elena, you hear that?" She murmured in her sleep, undisturbed. I checked the house, flashlight in hand, but found nothing. The next night, it happened again, louder, from the rooftop direction. I climbed the stairs, the air growing cooler, and pushed open the door to the garden. The city lights twinkled below, but the space was empty. Potted herbs swaying gently. No one there. The giggles became nightly, sometimes muffled, like through walls, other times clear, as if right beside me. Elena heard them too eventually. "It's like me," she whispered one night, clutching my arm, "but not me." We argued about it. I wanted to install cameras. She thought it was stress from her writing drought. Old houses have echoes, Alex, memories trapped in the plaster. But I couldn't shake it. I started researching the brownstone's history online, digging through property records at the Brooklyn Historical Society during lunch breaks. Built in 1892, it had passed through families, a banker, a suffragette, even a Prohibition-era bootlegger. Nothing sinister, but one detail caught my eye. In the 1950s, it was owned by a woman named Clara Voss, a poet who vanished mysteriously. Her twin sister Lydia inherited it, but sold it soon after, claiming the place was cursed by echoes. Twins! The word sent a chill down my spine. Elena had no siblings, but the coincidence nagged. The breaking point came 3 months after Maria's call. Elena was out at a poetry reading in the village, and I was home alone, nursing a scotch in the study. The giggles started early that evening, persistent, drawing me upstairs. I followed the sound to the master bedroom, where a locked jewelry box sat on Elena's dresser, an antique we'd found in the attic when we moved in. She'd never opened it, calling it vintage charm. The laughs seemed to emanate from it. Heart pounding, I grabbed a letter opener and pried it open. Inside, nestled among tarnished brooches and pearls, was a stack of yellowed photos. The first showed 2 women, identical, arm in arm on the rooftop garden, our rooftop. They wore 1950s dresses, hair pinned in victory rolls, smiling at the camera.
One was labeled Clara, the other Lydia. Twins, but the resemblance to Elena was uncanny. The same sharp cheekbones, the curve of the lips, the intensity in the eyes. I flipped through more. Clara alone, scribbling in a notebook, Lydia laughing with friends, then darker ones. Clara in distress, a newspaper clipping about her disappearance. Poet vanishes amid rumors of plagiarism scandal. Plagiarism? My mind reeled. The rewritten poems. Clara's work? Perhaps stolen by her sister? The giggle swelled, now a full laugh, echoing through the room. I dropped the photos, backing away. "Who's there?" I shouted. The laughter stopped abruptly. Silence. Then a whisper from the vents. "She took my words, my life." I grabbed my phone, calling Elena. "Come home now. There's something you need to see." She arrived pale, the reading forgotten. I showed her the box, the photos. "This can't be," she murmured, tracing Clara's face. "I look just like her." We researched feverishly that night. Clara Voss, the forgotten poet, had accused her twin Lydia of stealing her manuscripts, passing them off as their own. Lydia gained fame briefly, publishing under her name, while Clara spiraled into depression and vanished. Presumed suicide, body never found. Lydia sold the house, moved away, but whispers persisted. Clara's spirit lingered, echoing her stolen laughter, her words. "Is it her?" Elena asked, voice trembling. "Rewriting my poems, leaving stains from her coffee breaks?" I nodded, the pieces fitting. The giggles were Clara's, trapped in the brownstone, seeking recognition. But why us? The resemblance? Elena's lineage, perhaps. We dug into her family tree. Her grandmother had lived in Brooklyn, maiden name Voss. A distant relation? That night, the manifestations intensified. Coffee stains bloomed on the walls like ink blots. Poems appeared everywhere, scrawled in cursive on mirrors, windows. Clara's originals, raw and powerful. The laughter turned to sobs, echoing endlessly. We confronted it. On the rooftop, under the stars, Elena read Clara's poems aloud, crediting her name. "Your words are yours," she said to the wind. "We're listening." The air shifted, a sigh rippling through the garden. The giggles faded, replaced by silence. True silence, for the first time. But echoes linger in old brownstones. Sometimes, late at night, I hear a faint laugh, approving now, not vengeful. Clara's muse, perhaps, guiding Elena's pen. Her latest collection dedicated to The Echo in the Walls just got published. Success at last. Yet I wonder, was it a ghost or something deeper? A twin's jealousy mirrored in our lives. New York holds its secrets tight, but in our brownstone, the past laughs on. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. See you in the next video.